the perfect 30-second clip that'll get you viral every single time. Now, you might be asking at this very start, why did you pick 30 seconds? I've seen so many clips, maybe viral at 45 seconds, viral at a minute, viral at 15 seconds. Well, I think 30 seconds is one of the best breakdowns because it allows for the full story structure, so it negates 15 seconds isn't that much time to really have a great story structure for a clip. And then 45 seconds, a minute, a lot of clips that you see that might even end up going viral, they tend to really just hone in a little bit too much on the redundancy part. So when I think about some of the top clips in today's clipping society, when it comes to podcast clips, when it comes to just clips in general, is a lot of them tend to really hit the mega virality. I'm talking mega virality, the 10, 15, 20 million plus when they go from that 0 to 30 second range instead of a 0 to 45 to a minute second range. So now that we all kind of got that all situated, let me start taking you through the steps, the 3-step formula that I like to say when it comes to making the perfect 30-second clip. Let's start off with the hook. The hook is going to be one of the most important parts, obviously, when it comes to short form media. Everybody knows this. The hook is the first 3 seconds of the clip, okay? Some people even like to say the first 2 seconds of the clip. So 0 to 3 seconds, that is when you need to make sure you're engaging the viewer as much as possible, okay? When I'm talking about engaging the viewer, I'm talking about evoking as much curiosity and conflict within that first 3 seconds, okay? If you can do both, perfect. But ultimately, the grand scheme of things, you have to make sure that you are evoking that curiosity. It can be in the form of conflict. It can be in the form of asking somebody a question and then getting a question back. But it could also be like you're starting a story, okay? What you need to think when you are clipping is that you need to find a way to get somebody to stop. I'm talking about completely stop their scroll because people are going fast. People are going fast on Instagram, on Facebook, on TikTok, on YouTube Shorts. They're going fast. They're waiting for something to actually capture their attention. So what better way to actually stop somebody than a question, than a story? I mean, there's so many other great ways to really hook somebody into a story or just hook somebody into your clip. But those are going to be some of the easiest ways to kind of start. And those are usually the ones where you end up seeing most clips end up getting made. I can make a video for you in the future talking a little bit more about hooks and all that. What are some of the best ones to look out for? But that's definitely the best way to start. Next part of the puzzle is the retention. Retention is going to be that segment. Once again, we're talking about that 30-second segment, okay? It's going to be the segment from 3 seconds to 20 seconds. And what I want you to get through to your head right now is that retention is the bridge, okay? Think about it as the bridge to get somebody to go from A to B, okay? The beginning to the end. I'll talk about, spoiler alert, the end is called the payoff. So basically retention is that middle part that gets you from A, which is the hook, to B, which is payoff. So you might be thinking at this point, well, how do I even go about doing something like this? Okay, there's different strategies that you can kind of do to increase retention on a clip. First one is going to be something like adding more B-roll to your video. Okay, so adding whenever somebody's talking about a topic such as depression, maybe you put B-roll of an influencer that is really known for speaking his ways on depression. And then boom, you have somebody that the audience can further connect with. You can also do things such as you can also add in pop-ups or possibly even sound effects. Those are all going to be really good ways to increase the retention. But at the end of the day, you're trying to make sure that, like I said, you're taking somebody from A to B. So the best way that you can really do that is making sure that you are progressing the story every single time. So from hook to the end, every single piece of the clip should take somebody to the end. If anything veers off and you possibly start a whole nother topic, then that isn't helping you, and that's not helping your clip. That's not helping your story, and that's probably what is getting somebody off. Like one of the best parts is a lot of the times, at least within YouTube and now Instagram, you're able to do it. And I mean, I guess even with TikTok, you're able to do it. You're able to look at your retention graph. Download the Edits app. Try and see that. And you'll be able to see, okay, this person's hooked in for the first 8 seconds, but there's an insane drop off because that's usually when a new story gets introduced or you veer off from the original topic. So you want to make sure that you're kind of staying on that same topic. And then some other things that you can definitely avoid to make sure that you do stay on topic is avoiding redundancy, making sure that, and this one's a hidden one because technically you're still staying on that same wavelength, but the retention is getting pulled away because if you're just spitting the same information over to somebody, that's not going to get somebody as interested. So one of the best ways you could do that is making sure that you're not redundant. And one of the best ways, in addition to that, would be making sure that you're not including filler words whenever you're speaking. So I'm sure that I've probably put in a few filler words within my speaking, okay, to you, whether it's ums, uhs, likes, or anything like that in between. That's a little bit more acceptable into long form content. But when you're doing something that is strictly just a clip, a 30-second clip, you're trying to make sure that you have somebody hooked for that whole 30 seconds, then you're going to want to make sure that you're taking away those filler words because every second matters when you're trying to make a viral clip. That small thing that gets somebody to click off is just deteriorates your clip. But if you're able to really hone in on those small things, then it's a breeze at the end of the day. The last part is the payoff, okay? This is number 3. The payoff, think about it, is the 20 seconds to 30 seconds of your clip, okay? The last 10 seconds. And what I want you to think about with that is closing out the story. Closing out the conflict that was possibly brought from the start of your clip, okay? Making sure that you answer that question. Making sure that you capped off that story. Making sure that you capped off that bold statement that you might have said at the beginning, you cap it off at the very end. And some of the best strategies to do a lot of this is going to be make sure that you're ending on a high note. The reason I say this is so important to end on a high note and not just end on the end of the story. You might be ending on something that happened in the middle of the story, but could work better at the end of the clip. So ending on a high note, such as ending on maybe a bold statement, a laugh, maybe even somebody crying, you want to make sure that all of those are doing the best to increase somebody to want to share, like, or comment on the post. So if you are making a clip that at the end of it, somebody just feels like, oh, okay, like, yeah, that was just like, just like another clip, like, didn't really evoke like that much emotion in me, and I don't really care to share it. This is usually what you see with a lot of AI clips, what you see with a lot of clippers that maybe just throw the clip out into the public and then just say, all right, whatever, like, you guys take it forever you may, and they don't focus on story structure. But the ones that at the very end that are like being really smart at how they actually end. So are they ending on a really definitive statement that is going to make somebody pick either A or B? I mean, this is something I talk about all the time. Are they ending on a very like polarizing topic? And then that will further get somebody to want to evoke commenting, okay? You think about it. You can be a hater and comment, but like if you're able to get somebody who watches your video and they actually like it and then they comment, that's just, you're getting both ends of the spectrum now. So it's like, personally, I don't put hate comments out, okay? That's just my style. I don't put hate comments out. And so if I see a good clip though, I'll say like good clip or like ha 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 ha, like this made me laugh, this was so funny, or like even putting things in there at the end to make somebody have to feel like they should share it. Some of the best ways to evoke somebody wanting to share a clip with a friend is if the clip ends up making them cry, if the clip ends up making them laugh, or if the clip ends up just they're thinking in their own mind themselves, this is such a ridiculous statement or an outlandish statement, I have to share with somebody else to get their thoughts. So That's what I want you to think about, is that 3-part structure when you are making a clip. That hook that's really getting somebody in the door and getting that curiosity build up. Then you have retention. Retention is going to be the thing that makes sure that every single scene is leading to the payoff. And then the payoff over here is going to be that beautiful thought process where, how can I make it so this clip can be not only capped off by what was said at the very start, but also end on something that is so interesting that gets somebody to feel such an emotion that they would want to either share, like, comment, or save. So I hope this video was something that you liked. If you want more videos like this, if you have any other questions, make sure to leave them down in the comments section. If you like more raw videos, kind of like this, I kind of fuck with it, kind of explaining stuff, being able to use my hands a little bit, not feeling constrained by a chair, let me know. And check out another video probably right here. Make sure to subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace out.